Good morning. My name is Kurt Ranta, Field Operations Section Chief for the Whisky Complex. We'll start with the Whisky fire and then move over to Sandstone and Blister about what operations looked like yesterday and what they're going to look like today. So yesterday we did get up in the air and do one recon on the reconnaissance flight on the Whisky fire. Again, primarily to look and see where the fire's gotten to here in the last couple days. Compared to where it was a couple days ago, and then also some of the activity in here. What we saw, no surprises, very little movement up north as it touches the Eagle Creek fire scar here, and no movement on the spot that's up there near the Benson Plateau. Still showing a little bit of smoke. Of course, all these areas are showing smoke, just not moving much. And down here, we continue to have the most growth on this west side of the fire. It was mostly in here, slowly flanking up the drainage, and a little bit of growth in here. They did fly a new infrared flight last night, and it's not reflected on this map because we didn't have time to get it in. It is showing a couple very, very small spots up here in the plateau, actually right in here, and we'll try to get up in the air today and look at those. Don't anticipate that they're moving around much. And a little bit of growth in this spot down here on the west side of the Herman Creek, but gained a few acres yesterday, but not much activity. Status quo down here, no real movement, just showing some smokes in that area like it has been for the last 2 weeks since we've been here, and then everything else is looking good. So Division Gulf, yesterday we basically combined Division Gulf and Division Tango just because of the number of resources in there, and there's really not much work to be done right now. But we did start working on repairing that Helispot 5 since we don't have people up there anymore working for the most part, so we're putting that to bed. And then doing a little bit of additional repair up here, making sure these hand lines, as they're shown on the map, are all repaired, rehabbed, and we can take them off the map there. We still do have line in place here, and then hose line all the way down here. So that leads into Division Tango here. As talked about yesterday, we're going to make sure we have a good functional, from Rainy Lake in here, good functional hose lay all the way up to the fire scar. Here, that's the really hard burn from Eagle Creek. They got that in place. They're still testing that today, making sure it's working really good. So that's what the resources we're working on yesterday is getting that in place for the incoming team. Moving over to the repair group. Again, a lot of what they're doing is off the map in the county line, but they're still working on the dozer lines, closing them off so we can reopen that county land as early as later this week. And then today, they're going to be starting in on this dozer line in here as far as rehabilitation goes because it's no longer needed as a secondary line. And we're also going to be back in the Greenpoint Reservoir area at the Kingsley spike camp we had in there. We're going to be doing some road grading and getting that ready to reopen the campground in there hopefully by this next weekend. So things are on track there. As far as the contingency group that I talked about the last couple days, they're finalizing a plan to kind of worst case scenario, if we needed to utilize the BPA power line down above the river there, we'll have a plan in place. We've made connection and got contacts for all the Bonneville Power Company contacts there in case we get to a point later in the season where we needed to utilize that line. Don't anticipate that, but we got a plan in place. Let's move over to Sandstone. Combine these divisions as just one set of overhead out here managing it. Same as yesterday. Yesterday they continued to work on 7015. We'll continue to do that for grading. We'll also have a hand crew down there that's kind of working on some of the getting some of the debris out of the ditches. And then over here they're continuing to work excavators on these dozer lines in here and making sure those are good to go. So they'll continue that. Yesterday we did identify some heat, some fire that showed up in this area right here. It showed on the infrared flight 2 nights ago, so we sent the Gannett Glacier crew. They're the Type 2IA crew that we've had. They're from Alaska, and they've been here for just about a month, and they got a few more days. So they've been the crew that's broken off little squads and gone and taken care of any threatening smokes. So they hiked in here they hiked downhill from the H199, got in there, and found that there was some heat right on the edge. It wasn't really moving, but there was the potential for it to move a little bit. So they got in there, put line around it, and we actually sent a helicopter up there and did some bucket work, assisted them with some gave them some water on the ground there from the helicopter. So they worked all day with some folks in there. Looks really good on this morning's IR. You can't even see it in there, so they obviously did good work in there. But we will have that crew in there looking at a couple other little heat signatures that from the IR that are close to the line. Make sure those are no threat. That's about it for the contingency, or for the Sandstone fire. Again, observing the Blister Creek fire, we saw no smokes on there for probably the third or fourth day in a row there. That's kind of wraps up operations for today. We are planning to in-brief the 2 new teams. The way that looks is tomorrow will be this team's last operational shift, and then there's going to be a Type 3 organization from the forest. Mountain Hood Forest is going to take over the Whisky, and a Type 4 organization, a little less complexity at this point. So Type 4 organization's going to take over the Sandstone. That organization is also from the Mount Hood National Forest. And we're going to see a significant change in the weather coming. Today, you can you look up if you're local, you can see clouds coming in. That's kind of the leading edge of a weather change. And today we're still expecting warm, we're expecting dry. So we might still see some movement out there, particularly in this Herman Creek drainage. But tonight and tomorrow, we're expecting a pretty significant moisture event. We could get up to a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch down south in the Sandstone and 1/4 to 1/2 an inch in the Whisky. So welcome rain. Certainly slow things down for a while this season as we move into the middle part of the month. That's what I got for today. Thank you.